Hello students, at this time I want to talk to you about your upcoming informative speeches. So as I mentioned previously, some of you did an excellent job with the videotaping of your speeches. Some of you did a job that was a little bit poor. So I want to emphasize some things you might want to try to do. Again, I'm evaluating your speaking performance, not your videography skills. But I hope that this time around, each of your video recordings will have these three features. So we get to see you at least from the waist up. So if you're doing it from a webcam, you should be at least this far away from the webcam so that when you make a gesture, we get to see how effective that gesture is. You're well lit from the front and not backlit. So Angelo's was the one that was poorest in that respect. He seemed to be in a dark room, and then there was light coming from the back. You want the light to be on you, as it was in Megan's video. She's very well lit from the front. And then finally, you're speaking loud enough for the camera to clearly pick up what you say. If you're using a webcam and you're this far away from it, we're not going to hear what you say. You need to speak a little bit louder if you're using a webcam or you're somewhat farther away from the video recording device. Now, some of you may want to use visual aids because informative speeches lend themselves to visual aids. So one possibility is that you positioned yourself so that we're able to see you and we're able to see what's on the screen of a laptop or a desktop. This would be a little easier if I was next to a desktop, but I'm using the video cam on the desktop. So the sample that I gave indicated that I might be talking about the rules for naming wines. So my first slide says, what's in a name? The rules for the names of wines. And my next slide goes on to say that there are different rules for different regions. US rules are different from European, California rules are different from Oregon, and then I go on to point out that some rules focus on the region where the grapes are from, some rules focus on the variety of grapes, some rules focus upon the method for production. In my remaining 4 minutes of this informational speech, I'm just going to focus on the bottom 3 points. Rules based on region, rules based on variety, rules based on method of production. Now, it might have been a little easier for me to accomplish the same thing using printouts from a PowerPoint. Or if I had the ability to have a big poster board, I could have the poster board there. So these are ways that if you do not have the ability to stand in front of a projected collection of visual aids, you can still include visual aids in your informative speech. And finally, I want to talk about the scoring guide for the informative speech. I'll have a link in the same page that includes this video to a Canvas page version of this informative speech guide and also a Word document version of it. So it is similar to the one that you had for your special occasion speech, but there's a couple of differences. One, since one of the weak points in many of your speeches was organizational preview, this time that one gets double points. So you could have a score of 1, 2, 3, or 4, but that gets doubled because what I want to emphasize is it's important for you to tell your audience where you're going to take them before you start to take them there. And then we've got the body and we have similar topics. And in conclusion, once again, I'm giving double points for a clear sense of closure. So after I had completed my explanation of rules for naming wine based on region, based on variety, based on method, I want to recap them so that it makes clear the main points that I had made. Then over in the delivery side, we've got eye contact, and that also is going to get double points. So one of the challenges if you're using a webcam is you might be actually looking at yourself on the webcam, and you don't want to do that. You want to actually look up at where the camera is, and so that will then give the viewer of your video the impression that you are looking at them. And now this one, the speech is to be 5 minutes, and again, plus or minus 30 seconds. So if you go 4 minutes 30, you're fine. 5 minutes 30, you're fine. Once you go into a second block of 30 seconds over or under the required length, you could lose 4 time points for each 30 seconds over or above the cushion period. So I hope that is all clear. I'm going to pack this video up and send it to you and encourage you to do a good job writing your preparation outlines so that when you then go deliver your speech, which you should not deliver from a fully scripted preparation outline, but you should deliver from sort of a just a bullet point outline. That's one of the advantages if you're using PowerPoint, is that basically having the collection of bullet points in a PowerPoint slide allows you to remember what is your next point, but you're not going to be reading word for word on a lengthy item. You're going to be talking in some detail about how the different vine growing regions will have rules that say from this point to this point in this part of France, that is allowed to be called Burgundy, and anything outside of there cannot legitimately be called Burgundy in France, whereas in California, Burgundy is just sort of a generic term that doesn't really mean anything since they base their names upon varietals. So in that case, it would be, if it were made from Pinot Noir, they would call it a Pinot Noir. Whereas in France, a red wine made in Burgundy is just made from Pinot Noir because that is the grape variety used there. So I hope this is clear. If not, send me an email, give me a call, and I will try and clarify any of these specifications regarding the production and delivery of your 5-minute informative speech. See you soon.